was good. Yep. Usually adjusted well.
One thing up here,
That's a plus.
darn it.
Yeah. I gave up on the suntan lotion long ago.
I thought I'd give you a little shot for the inside.
The glare from the ice could be really rough there. I can burn that.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's 7 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bosphus.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Lynn.
Here.
Commissioner Shimmons.
Here.
Commissioner Stefanski.
Here.
Commissioner Twardy.
Here.
Okay, we're all here. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much. Just a couple of housekeeping items. One, if anyone has a cell phone, if you would please put it on vibrate or silence it, we would appreciate it. Also, just like to make a few comments on the successful visit that we had from our friends, our sister city delegation, Japanese delegation from Ryocho, was here this past week, and it was just a great time. 40th anniversary of the two cities having a sister city relationship. We had 13 folks from Japan here, and just like to thank a number of people publicly. We did also the night, our final night at the reception, but I know Commissioner Lynn was involved in the planning of the Ryocho visit, and I'd like to thank him also for your contribution. Host families, and we might say these full names more than once, but host families, certainly thank you to Christina Dennison, Kelly Freeman, staff person, David and Stephanie Giles, Gloria Kemp, Bill and Mary Lynn, William and Holly Morrison, Jim and Connie Pym, and Anna Turner. These folks sponsored the Japanese visitors at their homes while they were here, so we really appreciate that. Also, sponsors go to the Antlers Restaurant, Kewadin Casino, Lake Superior State University, and Dr. Tom Pleger, Lynn Auto Parts, Sioux Historic Sites, and certainly Richard Brawley from the Sioux Historic Sites. Additional recognition, our Community Development Director, Linda Basista. Is she here tonight?
She's on vacation.
Oh, she's on vacation. We give her vacation? No, no, Linda Basista, Planning and Zoning Administrator, again, Kelly Freeman, Administrative Assistant to the City Manager, Sue Gates, Assistant City Manager, certainly, and our Clerk, Robin Troyer, Engineering Technician, Terry Collins, Street Department, Fire Department, the Police Department staff, and Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians, and especially Cecil Pavelat, who did a really nice welcoming prayer, and Cecil always does a great job. And also to Community Action, Ken Stott for the trolley. Also, we were given 60,000 yen from the Japanese delegation for the as part of their contribution to the event over that week-long period. And 60,000 yen, it's upwards of $600. So that was a nice gift that they gave us. Also, our 40th anniversary monument that sits on the city ground lawn on the would be the, let's see, the east southern corner.
Southeast corner.
Southeast, yeah, east southern, southeast, same southeast corner of the lot over here, and it'll be there for years to come. So, all in all, a great visit, and certainly we had certainly a friend of Mayor Pro Tem Lynn's here with us, and maybe you'd like to make just a few comments.
Your Honor, I think you did a great job.
Okay.
I really don't have much to add.
Okay.
I'll say it was a great time.
Yeah, really nice time.
Yep.
City Manager, any other words?
No, just with it being my first experience, it was very enjoyable. Appreciate the delegates that their presence here, and look forward to being a part of it for many years to come. Thank you, Mayor.
You bet. Thank
I
you.
would like just to say
Sure.
one thing, that the mayor of Riocho has the same problem that our mayor does. He gets extremely emotional.
Yeah, he was very sentimental, and
Yeah,
he,
and let me tell you, he had a great time here.
Yeah.
He walked all over this city, 2 days. He kept a diary, and I was wondering, why is this guy up so late? But 20-some pages in his diary that he did. He's going to report to his council when he got back. So he was quite a guy.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Item number 1, public comment on scheduled agenda items. Any person may schedule time to speak on an agenda item not to exceed 3 minutes per person. Is there anyone in the audience like to comment on an agenda item? Hearing none, we'll go to the consent agenda. City Clerk.
Under the consent agenda, we have A, minute approval. 1, approval of the minutes of the regular city commission meeting of August 18th of 2014. Recommended action, approve the minutes of the regular city commission meeting of August 18th, 2014. Item 2 is acceptance of the minutes of the following boards and commissions. A is Tree Commission of July 15th. B, Economic Development Corporation of July 8th. C, PEHP of the DPW unit of August 11th. PEHP Firefighters Unit of August 11th, PEHP Police Unit of August 11th, and PEHP Police Sergeants Unit of August 11th. G is Planning Commission of July 24th. H is Sault Ste. Marie Tree Commission of August 19th. I is the Zoning Board of Appeals of August 21st. And J is the Sioux Housing Commission of July 17th. Recommended action, accept the minutes of the various boards and commissions. Item B, appointments and resignations. 1, appointment to the Community Services Board. Recommended action, appoint Don Dubanek to the Community Services Board for a term to expire on July 1, 2017. Item 2, reappointment to the PEHP DPW unit. Recommended action, reappoint Kristen Collins and Bruce Boger to the PEHP DPW unit for terms to expire on November 18, 2016. Item 3, reappointment to the PEHP Firefighters Unit. Recommended action, reappoint Steve Canello and Andy Morrison to the PEHP Firefighters Unit for term to expire on March 15, 2017. Item 4, reappointment to the PEHP Police Unit. Recommended action, reappoint Lynn Schemberger and Mark Savoy to the PEHP Police Unit for terms to expire on December 3, 2017. Item 5, reappointment to the PEHP Police Sergeants Unit. Recommended action, reappoint Mark Savoy to the PEHP Police Sergeant Unit for a term to expire on March 4th, 2017. And item 6, appointment to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Recommended action, appoint Beverly McCready to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term to expire on June 1, 2016. Item C under the consent agenda is City Manager's Report. And that's approval of the seasonal wage table. Recommended action is to approve the seasonal wage table as included in the agenda packet.
Okay, thank you. Is there any commissioner that would like something further explained on the consent agenda? Commissioner Stefanski?
So moved that the city commission approve the consent agenda.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Boswis.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Commissioner Gary.
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn.
Yes.
Commissioner Shimmons.
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski.
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. And already we are into the next item, which is the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A under the City Manager's Report would provide for the purchase of an emulsion tank for the spray patcher for the DPW. As commissioners are aware, the street department, over the course of the past several months, has been working to increase the amount of road maintenance it performs on an annual basis, looking to make adjustments so that they can use the spray patcher in a more logical manner because it does provide more better looking repairs than cold patching. And one of the goals of this is to make sure that they can use their spray patcher from the frost out to frost in periods and kind of lengthen the time during which repairs can be made. As the Commission's likely aware, at this time the DPW receives its asphalt emulsions from the Chippewa County Road Commission garage on Mackinac Trail. And the Road Commission has been a wonderful partner to the city. They allow the DPW to use the emulsion tank there at no cost, except for the cost of the asphalt emulsions. However, since we are structured around the schedule of the road commission, this does cause us to lose about between 4 and 6 weeks of operational capacity that we could use to complete more road repairs. So in the adopted fiscal year 2015 budget, there was an appropriation in the amount of $55,000 for the purchase and installation of an emulsion tank. And this would be an emulsion tank that's heated, would be able to mix asphalt emulsions on an around-the-clock basis, and provide a lot more flexibility for the street department. DPW Director Morrow solicited bids for a tank that's 4,000 gallons in capacity and would also have an 8-foot high mount, and 2 bids were received. The low bid was from Alta Equipment Company based in Traverse City. The amount bid was $41,260, and between that amount and the $55,000 appropriated, there's a difference of $13,740. And if approved, those funds would be used to pour the concrete pad upon which the emulsion tank would be placed. It'd be used to hire a licensed electrician to complete the electrical work related to the installation of the tank, and to hire a contractor to set the tank in with a crane. All being said, this would provide the DPW with the ability to perform repairs for an additional 4 to 6 weeks and possibly perform more repairs over the course of the year. Accordingly, I am requesting that the City Commission approve the purchase of an emulsion storage tank from Alta Equipment of Traverse City in the amount not to exceed $41,260, with that company being the low bid company that met specifications.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Tuarty.
I move that the City Commission approve the purchase of an emulsion storage system from Alta Equipment in Traverse City, Michigan, in an amount not to exceed $41,260, as this is the lowest bid.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any questions? So as I understand it, this would be 4 to 6 weeks of additional repair possibilities. I noticed that you can tell the patcher's been out because they're not just little potholes anymore. It looks like the whole roadway. And then once the gravel settles down, it's a repair that probably lasts for a lot of years.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point. I'd like to compliment the Streets Department for doing the work. It looks wonderful. That's correct, Mayor. We were discussing in staff meeting today that actually the Road Commission is looking at closing their operations within the coming next 2 weeks. And if we had this emulsion tank, we'd be able to extend it possibly through the middle or end of October. So we'd have an additional 4-week capacity toward the end of the year. And then we'd also be able to have a couple of weeks additional capacity at the beginning of the year as well.
Okay, excellent. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn,
Yes.
Commissioner Shimmons,
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty,
Yes.
Mayor Bosbis.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you.
Item B, under the City Manager's Report, would provide for the approval of the 2015-2016 animal control contract that the city has entered into previously with Chippewa County. And as outlined in the memorandum, this has been an arrangement that the city's had with the county since 2007. The wage per hour has been static at $15 per hour, and the county is proposing an increase to $15.50 per hour. Once the cost of the fringe benefits are factored in, that would increase the total amount per hour of service for animal control services during evening hours from $16.56 per hour to $17.11 per hour. As mentioned, this would be the first increase since 2007, and the fiscal year 2015 budget includes an appropriation in the amount of $25,000. For the past 2 fiscal years, this contract and the cost of it, including the service, any equipment or supplies that are paid for by the city, and mileage costs have fallen within that budget appropriation, and it's not expected that the contract in its current proposed form for 2015-2016 would incur any additional budget strain. The contract that is in front of the Commission would run from January 1st, 2015 through December 31st of 2016. After reviewing this, it's my recommendation that the City Commission approve the contract for supplemental animal control services proposed by Chippewa County for the 2-year term beginning on January 1st, 2015.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Shimmons.
I move that the City Commission approve the contract for supplemental animal control services proposed by Chippewa County for a 2-year term beginning on January 1, 2015.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Commissioner Stefanski.
Do we give anything additionally to the Chippewa County Animal Shelter, or is that just included in county taxes? Have they ever asked us for anything?
City Manager.
Commissioner Stefanski, it's my understanding that that would be outside of this contract, but I would ask our Chief of Police, John Riley, to correct me if that's not the case.
No, that's outside the contract, that'd be completely separate.
So it's,
I don't have an answer to that.
so that would be the county. I think it's a county, which we're all part of the county. So is there a millage?
No.
I don't know.
Yes, there is.
A portion of a,
Just-
I think there's a portion of a millage. It's not a full millage, I don't think, a mill, but
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, I think there is.
we approved that recently.
Okay. Any other questions? We have a motion and support. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski.
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty,
Yes.
Mayor Boswell.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item C, under the city manager's report, would provide for the purchase and installation of a wing plow. And at this time, I would like to defer to our DPW Director, Jim Morrow, to provide a brief overview of this proposed purchase.
Good evening. One of our goals
Evening,
in the
Jim.
street department is to reduce our reliance on our motor graders. If you recall, last year, we put $50,000 in the transmission of one of our graders. So during our budget work, I gave Bill Anderson, our street superintendent, a directive to provide us with options to reduce our number of motor graders in service from 3 down to 2. And the best option that he came up with was to install a wing plow on one of our plow trucks. Now, wing plow, the county has wing plows on their trucks if you see them going up and down the freeway. However, their trucks are a lot larger than ours. They have a tandem axle plow truck, where ours are a single axle. You know, they're much more maneuverable for going in our neighborhoods and our tight streets. But with the addition of this wing plow on one of our single axle plow trucks, we can increase the plowing width and therefore take a number of our city streets off of our grader routes. We're looking at utilizing it on Riverside Drive, on Portage Avenue, and on Easterday Avenue. Those are our grader routes that the wide width of our graders can do in 2 passes, where our plow trucks have to take 4 passes to do, sometimes 6, if there's a heavy snow load to push it back. Another advantage of having this wing plow installed in one of our plow trucks is a grader doesn't have the capability of dropping salt or sand. So after a grader goes through, we have to go back with a plow truck, catch the intersections with product, just to increase traction for our drivers. So we're very hopeful that this will lessen our need for a grader. But please understand, this is an experiment. We think it's going to work. Other cities do it. We've done a lot of research on this, what other cities do, and it's for the expenditure of $14,000 or so. It's well worth it. But also, please understand that we're never going to be without the need of motor graders. We're always going to need at least 2 for pulling snow. We need 2 graders to pull snow from the banks and around the downtown and such. And when we get really heavy snowfall, this wing plow is just not going to cut it. We have to put the front plows on the trucks, and the wing plow is just not going to, it doesn't have enough power to push that snow off to the side. It'll actually move the truck over if we have more than, say, a foot of snow. So it does have limitations, but we believe that it's going to be a very wise expenditure. If it works out, we're going to put them on more trucks, or request it to be put on more trucks. And hopefully, we'll drop our need of a grader down to 2 instead of 3, because they're $300,000 a piece, and the one that we have to replace is 20 years old, and that's at its lifetime end right now. So hopefully it'll work out.
Any other questions? Commissioner Tuorty?
So in a sense, this is going to help you increase productivity?
I hope to, yes. I hope it will. Yeah.
Not that you guys aren't awesome anyway, but.
Thank you.
It's interesting that we're here in September, just the beginning of September, we're already talking about snow removal. Anyone else?
On Commissioner Tuorty's point, this in fact would help increase productivity, because you'd be able to plow snow and lay down salt/sand
Same time.
at the same time.
Okay. Commissioner Bauer?
So move the commission approve the purchase and installation of a Monroe wing plow on one of the city's plow trucks from Truck and Trailer Specialists of Boyne Falls in the amount of $14,269.
Support.
It's moved, supported. Any further comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lynn?
Yes.
Commissioner Shimmons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item D under City Manager's report would provide authorization to sell 2 city-owned parcels to Daniel Passamai. As a brief description, these 2 parcels that are owned by the city are bounded by the streets of Magazine to the east of these 2 parcels, by Grocap on the north, to Spruce on the south, and Fort to the west, Fort Street. And this item came about when the city was contacted by Mr. Daniel Passamai of Material Handling Source regarding his interest in purchasing these 2 parcels. Little bit of history on these parcels. They were acquired by the city in 2009 on a tax foreclosure from Chippewa County in the amount of $1,637 for the stated purpose of providing unimproved dead-end alley access to Grocap Avenue. In reviewing the situation after being contacted by Mr. Passamai, it's the opinion of staff that it's no longer necessary to hold on to this property and that the alley access is unlikely to be improved at this time. And in further reviewing this with our assessor, the properties do have a fair market value of $4,800, a price that Mr. Passamai is willing to pay. He did request, however, before purchasing this property that he be able to conduct an environmental assessment of the property to detect what, if any, contamination is on the property. In the event that the purchase is executed, of the $4,800, $1,637 will go to the city to recover the cost of purchase, and then the remaining balance of $3,163 would be returned to the county treasurer for distribution to various taxing entities. As commissioners are aware, the land sale policy of the city does provide that developable parcels should be put out for public bid. However, that requirement can be waived if it's found to be in the city's best interest, and these parcels have a unique shape in the sense that pragmatically parcels would be difficult to develop by a business that does not immediately adjoin these parcels. In accordance with the the land sale policy, the adjoining property owner was contacted. He expressed no objections to the sale of his property, and based on the finding that these smaller parcels would be difficult to develop by another company, I'm coming forth with 2 recommendations. The first, that we permit Mr. Passamai to access the subject property to have an environmental assessment completed prior to the completion of the sale. And number 2, to waive the land sale public bid requirement contained within the city's land sale policy to allow the sale of both parcels to Mr. Daniel Passamai, and that's city parcel 051-867-005-00 and city parcel 051-867-005-50 for the record, in the amount of $4,800, with the condition that the property be sold by the city as is and with all faults, and with the condition that the sale price be net to the city.
Okay, thank you. There are 2 recommendations in discussion with the city attorney. That can be one motion. Commissioner Stefanski.
Yeah, before I make the motion, I'd just like to make a couple comments. I'm always excited to see city property be put back on the tax rolls. So when someone buys it, that's a very good thing. And I'd like to thank Mr. Passamai for what he's done to the material handling property there. That used to be a blighted piece of property for many years. And he's put a lot of resources into fixing that property up and making it very developable, or very operational. So move that the city commission approve the city manager's recommendation.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Shimmons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item E under the City Manager's Report, MERS Annual Meeting and Conference. This year, the annual MERS Conference will be held in the city of Detroit between September 24th and September 26th. The administration is requesting that payroll accountant coordinator Nancy Fernstaw be sent as the employee delegate, and that Assistant City Manager Clerk Robin Troyer serve as the officer delegate, with our newly hired Human Resources Generalist Alicia Carr serving as the officer delegate alternate to represent the City of Sault Ste. Marie at the annual meeting.
Okay, Commissioner Lynn.
So move the city manager's recommendations.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty?
Yes.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn?
Yes.
Commissioner Shimmons?
yes,
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item F under the City Manager's report would provide for the approval of a proposal from C2AE for engineering services associated with the Eureka Peck drainage improvements. And at the administration's request, C2AE did prepare the included cost proposal in front of the commission for the completion of a drainage study of the Eureka Peck area. As commissioners are aware, this has been a problematic area for some time in regards to surface drainage, with the issues likely being caused by a combination of surface drainage patterns, segments of combined sewers, and the lack of an adequate storm drainage outlet, and being further complicated by the blocking of catch basins to prevent backups within that area. The fiscal year 2015 budget does include an appropriation in the amount of $20,000 for the completion of the study, and the total bid price that C2AE submitted was $18,500. Accordingly, I am recommending that the City Commission approve the proposal dated August 25th, 2014, received by the City from C2AE for the completion of a drainage study of the Eureka Peck area in an amount not to exceed $18,500.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Gary.
I'd make a motion to approve the proposal dated August 25th, 2014 that was received by the city from C2AE for the completion of a drainage study at the Eureka Pack area in an amount not to exceed $18,500.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tuarty?
Yes.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn?
Yes.
Commissioner Shimmons?
yes,
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item G under the City Manager's report would provide for the approval of an agreement between the City and Chippewa County Health Department to make improvements to Sherman Park. And at this time, Ms. Christine Daly, who serves as the Environmental Health Supervisor for the Chippewa County Health Department, is in attendance to make a brief presentation regarding this project and to answer any questions that commissioners may hold about it.
Okay, all right. Good evening.
Good evening,
Okay,
Commissioners.
yes.
Yeah, this is a grant that we received about 18 months ago from the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. And as some of you know, in the past, we've had multiple beach closures at Sherman Park, some of which specifically between 2010 and 2012 resulted in the beach being closed more than a third of the summer of the swimming season. So with that being said, we, the Chippewa County Health Department, had applied for a restoration grant, which we were awarded a lump sum of money to do a restoration makeover on the beach. And with that, we have provided the city, through partnership with our engineer, Environmental Consulting Technology, and Best Lawn Care, $101,000 to do a makeover on Sherman Park. So we did ask the city to do a portion of that work themselves to compensate with the budget, and I'm here tonight to ask for your blessing on that project. So, thank you.
Any questions of Christine? Just a couple, and I'm not sure if you can answer them or Dan Wires, the city manager. And I was just there this past weekend with family, and some of the erosion is still going on. At least, is it the clearing of the parking lots as the water comes down,
Well,
and then
yep.
goes toward the water, pushes all the. I mean, we lost a lot of sand on the
and
beach.
I could get into details. When we had, we applied for a former GLRI grant, where we call it a sanitary survey grant, which allowed us to set up weather stations and data logging and do after rain events and sampling. And every time it would rain, that water would go across the parking lot onto the beach and into the swimming area. And that's where the E. coli levels would be maxed right out on the scale. So we consider safe for swimming to be under 300 for an E. coli count. And the results that we had during that grant period were greater than 2,500. So that's where, if some of you remember, we had to close the beach during certain periods of time.
Yes.
It was from all that surface runoff, stormwater runoff from the parking lots. So what we're planning to do, and I don't know if any of you have actually seen the plans, but the idea is to put in rain gardens to allow the infiltration of that water from the parking lot to the rain gardens. And then the second phase between the rain gardens and the beach will be actual sand dunes where the grass will grow, and that will actually deter the geese away from the beach because they don't like flat, or they like the flat better than the tall grass. So all in all, and then they'll do some beach nourishment on the beach itself. So the success rate over the past so many years when they did come out with these GLRI restoration grants, for those beaches around Great Lakes counties where they have been restored, they've had really good success rate with that. So we're hoping that with the design that our engineer has provided for us, that this will at least minimize and hopefully eliminate the closures that we have for the park and bring more people to the park so we don't have to close the beach. So.
Okay, thank you. Other questions, Commissioner Stefanski?
Actually, you answered my questions. I was curious for people at home exactly what was going to go on and explaining the dunes and the grass and water gardens.
Sure.
Thank you. Commissioner Shimmons?
Where exactly is this going to happen? Like, is it going to encroach on the volleyball court area, or?
No, it should not. The pavilion, the volleyball court should remain the same. There's going to be some sidewalk removal, and they're going to redo some of that, but it shouldn't take away from some of the equipment that's already there.
Very nice.
Should be very.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Other questions?
Mayor, just one point. This would
Manager.
close the beach for the season, starting tomorrow.
Next spring?
Through next spring.
Oh, through next spring,
Right,
which is,
so it would be closed.
Right, time is of an essence. I mean, we
Sure.
had some delays in getting the construction bids, and we were hoping to start earlier in the season, but it worked out perfect. But we would like to start this week if we can. We
Sure.
have everything lined up, ready to go.
so it's going to close the beach as of tomorrow?
Pretty much, and then but we should be done by October with the entire construction of the project, and then by spring it'll open
Yeah,
back
because
up.
there's not much sand on the beach. It's really gotten to the clay.
Pretty
for the
much,
most
yeah.
part, so. Okay, so we'll have notices going out?
We can send notices, Your Honor. This
I mean, just to the media and the stuff that Sherman Park would be, okay?
Right, and I think Dan had mentioned that he was planning a press release
Sure.
following
Okay.
your approval. So.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and certainly thank Chippewa County Health Department for the grant monies, the foresight to write for the grants and be able to get those grants.
Yeah, I mean, we wrote it. We were one of 26 other health departments around the Great Lakes states that received funding for this purpose, so we're very fortunate. It's EPA funded in partnership with the DEQ, so we were pretty fortunate to be awarded the money. So
Great.
we're glad we could do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Commissioner, do we have a motion yet? Commissioner Shimmons?
I would so move the city manager's recommendation.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any further comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
Item H under City Manager's Report, if it is approved for addition to the agenda, would be the acceptance of the letter of resignation from current Harbor Master John Wellington, effective September 8th, 2014.
Okay, we'd have to add that to the agenda, and we need 7-0 votes since all of us are here. Commissioner Lynn?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bosbus?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn?
Yes.
Commissioner Shimmons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. So we'll add that to the agenda, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. This letter was received today by my office, by Chief of Police John Riley, and would like to thank Mr. Wellington for his long tenure of service to the city. Right now, we're reviewing our options as far as this position and its location within the organizational chart.
And you'll bring that information party back at a different meeting, I'm sure.
That's correct, Mayor.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? We need a motion to accept certainly John Wellington's resignation. He's been there for a very long time, and we certainly appreciate his help, Commissioner Stefanski.
So move that we accept Captain John P. Wellington's resignation.
Support.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. With a letter of support going out to him, and
Yes, Mayor.
thank you and support.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, I should say. Okay.
And that concludes the city manager's report. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Item number 4, matters presented by the public. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to make a comment at this time? Yes, sir. If you'd like to come to the mic and identify yourself, we'd appreciate it. We just know him as String.
Good evening. My name's Don Kelly. Most of you know me as String. Those that are fortunate enough to know me. I would like to thank everybody up here for your time and your service to the city of Sault Ste. Marie. I appreciate everything you've done and everything you're trying to do. I have one little item that's near and dear to me. I've worked with Commissioner Stefanski before. I'm trying to get a dog park, an off-leash dog park established in Sault Ste. Marie. The plans were taken away from us, so to speak. We ended up with the wrong people in charge, and the project got away from us. I still think it's a viable effort, something we should do in town. Like I say, it's a pet project. Funding was a big key. I've got an idea for funding. If anybody wants to join me down at the brew pub later for a beer to discuss it, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Are you buying?
I'll sponsor a round, no problem. I would like to get the ball rolling on that if anybody would like to join me, and we'll discuss it and see where we go.
Commissioner Lynn.
It's an interesting thing because a lot of communities have that. I know where my son lives in Austin, Texas. They have a lot of, what do they call them, dog parks?
Dog parks, yes.
He's got 3 dogs, but it's a big thing, I know, in a lot of communities.
I know we've talked about before, we talked about the high school area as one spot, we talked about Ashland Bay as probably another spot, but nothing is, I don't know where that all was left. Commissioner Stefanski?
Well, I made a trip to California years ago. I brought this up to the commission before, but in a lot of their parks in California, they allow dogs, and in their downtown areas and their stores and that. And also in their parks, they also have areas that are fenced off and picnic tables around them, and you could bring your dogs, and you could take them to Sherman Park or whatever. Unfortunately, I'll be honest, I don't visit very many of our parks in the Sioux because I can't bring my dogs there. And so I take mine outside of town, but I think the Sioux needs to look at their parks and maybe come up with being a little more dog friendly.
Also, I think our elderly and our handicapped people that own pets would like to have a place where they can take and get their pets exercise or run around and get on outdoors with their pets would be a boon. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
The Commissioner Bauer has a comment?
No, all I was going to say was that if the price was right and the situation was right, I think that most of us would be in favor of the dog park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, funding is so key, and it's not going to come without an expense, that's for sure. And looking at the amount of people that walk their dogs and have a pooper scooper or a plastic bag in the community now versus 10 years ago is very good. I mean, you don't see many people that don't have the facilities or something to take care of whatever the dog might leave. And that's a responsibility that all dog owners should have. So a dog park it's going to take responsibility, it's going to take money, it's going to take cooperation. So where it goes from here is anybody's guess, I guess. But the offer is there. Sure, Commissioner Lynn.
That item should be turned over to the city manager.
And I do have a business card with my contact information. If you'd like to collect it after the meeting, be happy to give it to you.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Don. Anyone else? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment. Item number 5, matters presented by the commission. Commissioner Shimmons.
I'm wondering where we are with our contract with the golf course.
City Manager.
Commissioner Shimmons, we actually received an email recently from the Sault Ste. Marie Country Club indicating that they will be reviewing certain elements and aspects of the agreement, indicating that they would like to add some language in regards to making them a party that would be eligible to purchase the golf course if it's so deemed desirable, as well as some additional language and clarifications as far as the insurance is concerned. This is slightly different than what we may have perceived to be the case at first. However, in discussing this matter with our city attorney, he is confident that we can work these issues out prior to the official release of the agreement and the RFP.
Do I still have the floor?
Pardon? Sure.
My understanding was when that came to the city commission, that it already had the blessing of the country club with the exception of the insurance issue. So why are we revisiting the substance of the agreement at this point when they supposedly they had not taken official action, but they had said it was okay?
If you were ready to speak, City Attorney.
I guess my microphone's not working. That was what it is.
Oh.
Leave it alone. Anyway, the substance of the agreement is not being revisited. The insurance issue is still unresolved, and the country club wanted to make sure in any listing agreement that they could be an allowed purchaser of the entire complex. And apparently that came from their bank when the bank was reviewing the situation. So I believe they're minor issues. I can tell you that sometimes the city's insurance requirements that we apply to contractors, we copy over into a lot of situations, and they're not common requirements that all owners can get from their insurance agents. So we may have to make some changes in that, but that's not substantive. There's no substantive issues.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And has there been any progress made with listing the property?
I believe the RFP is in its final stages of development, and then it will be released officially, hopefully after those issues are resolved, but it's very close.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Commissioner Tuarte, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just
question.
wanted to mention to everybody that the first Eagles game will be at the Puller, and I don't want to step on your toes here with the Puller project. But the Eagles game will be at the Puller this Friday night, and I know it's going to be done. Isn't it going to be done, Dan?
It'll be ready.
It's going to look great. So if you want to come and see the brand new Puller, be there 7 o'clock on Friday night, 7:30.
Okay. The Eagles and the Thunderbirds in the Rolly King Classic. Commissioner Lynn,
I did it last.
did you have anyone else?
Actually, one thing real quick.
Commissioner Bauer.
The new monument that we received from the Japanese delegation from Ryocho. I've seen people, because of course I am a neighbor, I've seen people walk through there and kind of, express dissatisfaction in the placement of the monument as it is opposed to the rock that was already there. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
There's a
You
rock
haven't seen
post. Yeah, I've seen the monument. There's
I
a
mean,
rock.
the one is like in front of the other.
Yes.
City Manager?
Yeah, we do have plans to relocate that, and understand the appearances. Maybe it looks a little cumbersome the way it's positioned, but we do have plans to reposition
Replace the rock?
that. To reposition the rock that was there originally to a different location.
Thanks.
Do you have a comment on Commissioner Lynn?
I think we had to move quickly on that. So it was there because it got here from Japan the day before they were here, I think.
Oh, okay.
So-
Can I say one thing about
Sure.
that, though? Because the area of the lawn, the City Hall lawn, is fairly spacious. it reminds me of times when I need, you know, little elbow room to do something at home, and the kids are like right up against me, and I say, there's 1,800 square feet in this house. Why do you have to occupy these 2 feet right now? You know what I mean? So it just seemed like, you know, kind of an odd place to put it. I mean, you know, that they could have, a few feet this way, a few feet that way, they wouldn't have been blocking the other
Yeah, and
monument.
if I remember correctly, when the monument from Rioja was placed, the soil was quite wet, so if they put their equipment into the lawn to move the other rock, it would have done damage to the yard, but I certainly understand that would be worked on.
Are you done, Commissioner Barr?
I'm done.
Okay. Commissioner Tuardi, you have a comment?
Well, I was just going to say, I think he's asking why we placed,
It's,
okay.
we're past that, I think.
Well, okay. I mean, I know why we did, because I
Okay,
was on the
'cause it was-
committee.
Yeah,
so.
because it was pretty quick, I understand. Anyone else? Commissioner Lynn?
I have a few items.
Okay.
That has to do, of course, what else?
Mhm.
The puller. We're going to have a next meeting, which is, of course, 2 weeks. We're going to have an update on our donations, and to be very honest with you, I think we're going to have some good news in 2 weeks, probably this week as well. We had put 250 as our goal, 250,000. Well, we're 245,000, and Ray Bauer and Sue Burry came through with $6,000 that put us over the hump to 251. So thank you.
Thank you.
Timing is everything.
I know there's a lot of people have donated, still want some photo ops. Scott Brand is out of the office for 2 weeks at Sioux Evening News, but I have a wonderful person here that's going to help us do that. Thank you. Let's see, what else? For those who have donated or that would like a photo op, please be patient, because this will take a while. It'll take the month of September, I think, to get everybody in there. Let's see. Don Wires is working on, I think, this month with those that have donated, and we'll say O'Connor's, okay, they donated the lumber for the Sioux High dressing room, $3,000. Somewhere there'll be a plaque. So anybody that's donated, Dan Wire's office is going to get a hold of them. What do they want for a plaque, sign, or whatever? He's already showed me a couple items, which look nice. We don't want to clutter the puller either.
The committee will be discussing
That's
all
gonna-
those,
Yep, Thursday.
all those implications, and everyone that gave significant amounts of money, anyone that gave $100 is going to be on a board that will be part of the puller, but in the larger areas, those advertising opportunities will be done.
We hope to have everything done, I think, by September 29th. That's when Sioux Michigan Hockey Association starts. Am I right, Dan? Sometime around there.
Well.
Hopefully everything is done. I think most of the work is done. It's been quite a challenge, to say the least. The campaign is going to be ongoing. When this is done, we still like to take it a step further, and who knows what else is going to show up at the puller that has to be fixed. And you still have time to donate. So since it's ongoing, if you haven't donated, this is going to give you, you got lots of time to do it, and we certainly would appreciate it. And I think what people have got to remember, Puller Community Building is a place where friendships and memories are made that last a lifetime. With that, so moved that we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.